Hello everyone, a very good afternoon to everyone present. Today we are going to be talking about mentor experience at open source programs. As a lot of you might have been having queries about what an open source program is, how should you mentor a program, and a new program which was introduced by Google in 2019, which was Google season of docs. So here we have with us Shivan Srivastav, who is a Google Summer of Docs mentor at Circuitverse. And Circuitverse is one of the projects who are participating in SC. He's also Udacity Knowledge Mentor and a mentor at FSF Camp, and he's a project admin at SW. So a very warm welcome, Shivansh. Thank you very much for agreeing to speak at SWOC's Community Bonding.
Thank you, Rachit and Script Foundation for inviting me to speak at this event. And hi, guys, I'm Shivan Srivastav. As Rachit told, I'm a GSOD 2020 Circuitverse, and I have been mentoring various degree programs at Udacity, and I'm a project reviewer there. Also, I have been a mentor at Intel UX program and other open source programs like SWOC, FSF Camp, and OSH Open Source Hacks. And I'm a keen open sourcer. I'm a full stack web developer and hybrid cloud evangelist. So let's move on with this program ahead. And I'll be telling you all about GSOD, which is Google Season of Docs. And now let me just move ahead with the program overview. So basically, the goal of Season of what we have, like this program is all about, to provide a framework for the technical to engage with the open source projects and contribute to documentation. So the thing is, whenever we develop a project, the main issue about that is we always lack writing the documentation about the project, which every one of cases, like the developers have the thing to push it everything to GitHub, but the main documentation for the contributors is always behind. So this program was launched by Google, just introduce the technical writers to engage with the communities of open source so that their documentation can be improved, be it testing or API documentation, but documentation improvement is the main thing. So during the program, the technical writers spend a few months working closely with the open source communities, and they work on new technologies. So it is like I can say they write the document, they either host it, but the work is done all of them by on their own. So it's solely done by them, and this program was created to raise public awareness about open source docs, and we work together to improve the documentation of various open source repositories. So this time we had it for our projects like interactive book and Circuitverse docs. So I'll tell you about my mentoring experience. So we had two interactive book where the complete website of the documentation was revamped, and in the Circuitverse docs we included more of the content, and along with that we also added YouTube videos, which is considered part of documentation. That also has a tutorial guide for the new content and the users. We'll be moving on to the section where we tell about how's the flow like, or how does it work. So open source organizations apply to be the mentor organizations in this program, like Circuitverse or the Chaos Foundation, Linux Foundation, all work and apply this program. Then they submit a list of projects they are suggesting for this program, and there are various phases for this GSOD program, where like the technical writers first explore various organizations and their projects. Then they write a really strong proposal, which I'll be telling you in the how to draft a strong proposal for the GSOD program, and then the accepted technical work with the mentors and the audience to create an awesome open source document to help the users and the contributors that will be contributing in future. They are currently contributing. At the end of the program, the Google program administrators announced the successful projects. And this is the basic flow of this program. Next, we'll be moving to the section of, just a second.
So, do you agree that the flow of a GSOD is somewhat similar to GSOC, as the
Yeah.
application stage is nearly the same? So, I believe it's pretty similar.
Yes. So the flow of these Google programs are similar. Yes, the organization has to apply so that they like one of the organizations among which the technical writers or the can explore. So yes, the flow is similar. The organizations apply, the technical or the contributors just draft a proposal according to the listed on the website. And next on we have the participants and the roles. So basically there are various in the organization or the community. So I'll be telling about that. Organization administrators, the members of the organization who are considered bear the like whole organization. They are contact where Google contacts the organization. They handle the paper within the organization, manage the mentors and the technical writers, and they also manage the stipend thing. They provide the mentor stipend or participant stipend. They handle everything. We have the open source mentors. These are the members of the open source organizations, just like me. I was a mentor at the like we closely work with the technical writers. We arrange weekly or like bi-weekly calls, or twice in a week calls, so that we can clear the doubts of technical writers or anything they require. We can provide it to them easily and make sure the on track. So the scope of the project needs to be reinitiated or not, we keep a check on that by maintaining a separate document or something like that. We keep a check. Of the writers have no experience using it. So first of all, we make them and familiar with the, and then continue. Everyone has a PR on GitHub, so we like help them out using the calls. Next one, we have the technical writers. These are the people who help us improving and updating the documentation, current documentation we have, or like introducing a new documentation, or like using read the docs or Jekyll. So that's all. Google program administrators, obviously these are the program managers of the Google season of docs. And next we have the eligibility criteria. So I'll be like telling you the eligibility criteria of this Google season of docs, similar to Google summer of code. But here everyone like at least 18 years of old at the time of registration. So anyone above 18 years of old can participate, be professor also, because we need we need experienced people also for this documentation. So anyone above 18 years of age apply with a strong proposal, obviously. uh, Able to demonstrate prior technical experience by submitting work samples. So it's true because like while going through the applications, people submit their work samples so that they boost up their draft proposal. The main thing is like they must be eligible to work in the country of residence, because some of the countries do not allow. So we have to keep a check while selecting our technical writers to be accurate about this. And Next on, we'll be moving to the technical writer responsibilities. These are really important for a technical writer while working with us. So selected technical writers needs to be accurate and precise about the work. He or she, let it be submit high quality work, as in we consider doing that. We do not accept plagiarized work or something like an unfinished work, because if it's an unfinished or plagiarized work, we actually, open source organizations do not consider. We are prestigious organizations. So, and unfinished work we do not accept, because if we need to rework upon it, so what is the need of the of us select as the technical writer? And so these simple things, regularly with the mentors, work you complete. So as I said, there are calls arranged so that keep a check on our project track if the scope of the project needs to be reinitiated, or something cut down or added if according to the time allows. And listen and respond to the feedback easily, so we need their feedbacks on the project. And there are different phases in GSOD. So organization application phase is the first and the initiating phase, where during this period our organization administrator can submit an application to Google. There is a form open for that, where org admin submits a application as an organization. Then we have a technical writer exploration phase, where various technical writers come from different parts of the world and explore the organization, talk with the mentors, talk with the org admins, show their works, and open if they are used to with GitHub. And then there's the technical writer application that goes you have to draft a strong proposal. Organization select the project they want to mentor. According to that, the technical writers will draft an application for the projects they select. The community bonding phase is something where, after the technical writers are selected by the organization, the mentors help them to, like I said, get used to GitHub or PR making or anything they are not familiar with. If they are familiar with everything, so we just tell them to get used to the platform, revise their concepts, and come that after the community bonding phase, they are completely ready to work with the project they have selected and drafted a proposal for. The doc development phase is the phase after bonding, in which the technical writers are completely ready to work on, and they work under the mentors like me, and they are closely watched, because each of their work is getting merged day by day or weekly, so we have to keep a close watch, approve their PRs, and go ahead. So there are mid evaluation phases and final evaluation phases here. And after the evaluation, the project finalization comes, and yes, everything after that is completely fine, because yes, that works. So here I am going to tell you about how to make a powerful application, so that you get up and give a boost to your application so that you get selected. If any of you have any queries, you can ask me. Rachit, any questions?
We have a question. We have a question. Can we work on multiple projects in GSOD or only the one to us?
Okay, so is this after getting selected or before? Could you just
I believe he means getting selected.
so
The
if
advert
you're
hasn't specified explicitly.
so if you're applying for, if you're before getting applying, so you can apply to multiple projects. But if you are selected particular project, then you can you can contribute and help the other technical writers if you have the time, because people generally have the time to work on other projects like after doing their own. So I would say stick to your work, and if you have time left after your project evaluation, then surely you can go ahead and work with the other technical writer to improve the other document.
Understood. Strongly agree. Because as per my experience in open source, it's pretty hard to make solid contributions to one project, let alone make it to
Yeah.
multiple projects.
Yes,
So
obviously, because see, what is the main thing is like some of the technical writers we have time in GSOD. One was a professor. This is like they hardly get any after doing the GSOD, and in the prof they are at some university, a prestigious university, so they have to teach them, they have to do the GSOD work. So how like they really don't get any work on the other projects. It's like if you have time, you can.
strongly agree. Strongly agree. I believe we should channel our energies into one project, give 100% rather
Yeah.
than give 50 to two. So we
Yeah.
had one more question from Arun. He's asking, what if we don't have experience in technical writing?
Okay, so if you don't have any experience writing, no issues. You can start it. You can obviously start doc development from or anytime you like. There are technical writing guides given on the website. I'll share the link in the chat box if you need, and you can follow the guides. You can follow the guidelines. You can get started. You can contribute to various open source projects for that, and like um, you can maintain or start working various markdown files or documentation for some open source projects. So that'll help you a lot getting used to technical writing.
That's true. And what I personally believe is we should try to learn by doing, as you just mentioned. So actually making a PR out in the field would be perhaps the best way to get experience.
Yes. So select some projects that are based on documentation. Like we have in interactive book and circuit verse docs. So these are dedicated projects for the application. So you can select some projects like these and get ahead, start working, open PRs. You can surely get an experience working with technical writing.
That's
Uh,
absolutely true. So I think we should probably proceed with the how to create the application part, and then we can look at the questions. Do you
yeah,
agree?
sure, sure. Uh, Okay, so I'll start with the application, powerful application. So first of all, you need to mention the personal information, your name, your display name is something like my name is Shivan Shrivastava, so I'll be writing SS or initials you like, and the email address, and these all things you'll need to mention in the proposal. The information about your technical writing experience is the most important thing, because that reflects how much experience you own in technical writing, and that will boost your chances for getting your application stand out in front of the mentors and the project admins. So make sure to admit this in your like application, like recent link to your technical writing experience, a link to your resume or CV, and work samples for the companies where you've worked or developed documentation, YouTube links for tutorial guides you have created, something like that. Choosing organizations is the main thing. You need to select various organizations are there in the pool. You need to select some of them where you can interact easily and get started with the work. Okay, and then it's like simply you need to give details of the documentation you are proposing to create or update. So it's like I select a project where I need to update or create. Say like I start with the project base is Jekyll, but I need to convert into read the docs. So I need to give a base plan, frameworks, and what I'll be using, or the wireframes, design part, everything I need to provide. How will I be transforming that from the current version to my updated version? include a link to describe the proposed updates, so you can obviously work on a sample, create a sample hosted website or something like that, and give a link so that the org admin and the mentors can easily know how you are, like how enthusiastic you are to create this documentation and how deeply you can work on this. Okay, and why you need that changes, because you need to propose that, because that's the main thing where your knowledge comes into like the scene, because we have the current documentation going perfect, so why you need to change that is the most important question, need to be answered by the technical writers. If you've discussed the project with someone from the open source organization like the mentor or the org admin, include the summary of the discussion. Like if you ask me something about the interactive book, so I'll give out comments from your wireframes or the work samples you created, and you need to mention out those comments so that whenever in future I like evaluate your final proposal, then I get to know that I have mentioned these points and you have reworked upon them to make them like updated, you have updated these points in your proposal. Obviously pay attention to the language and the style of your proposal. It should be really formal, not an informal, because you are developing a documentation which is really formal and useful to the contributors. It should be in like really a good language. The like this is the factor which we assess the proposal on, and I'll be telling what's in there for the technical writers now. So you get a lot of experience working with the open source organizations. There are a lot of open source organizations in the pool, really prestigious ones. So you get a lot of experience working with the mentors, the org admins, and everyone in the community, because the community is really helpful for everyone who enters in that. You get a decent stipend on the depending on the purchasing power parity of your country. So it ranges from $2,400 to $6,600. In India, we get around $3,000. So that's pretty cool, I guess, for everyone. You get swags and recognition from various organizations after you get selected and you complete the project evaluation successfully. And I guess that's the session. Hope that helps you all a lot. If you have any questions, you can surely go ahead and ask me. I'm ready to answer. You can find me at these links mentioned at LinkedIn, Twitter, and GitHub.
We have a question by Siddhant Thakur. He's asking, Bhaiya, in technical writing, what can we write on?
See, this is in technical writing, I guess. I'll tell you just a thing. Take a project, a GitHub project, say any URL shortener. Okay, so you need contributors on it. So how you tell them to start? You need to set up a contributing MD file where you fill the contributing guidelines. Then you need to mention the setup. How will the new contributor set that up? If that has APIs, you need to create a API documentation using Swagger UI or something. Similarly, this is for something like a short project, I say, but for a long term project or a bigger project on a large scale, we have to maintain various documentations, like how the project works, the APIs, the testing documentation. Everything needs to be maintained and updated like regularly.
I had a personal question of my own.
Okay.
There are two types of projects which are there in GSOD, right? The long-running
Yeah,
projects
yeah.
and the short-term projects. So, ideally, which should be a better fit if you are planning to apply to any organization?
See, I need to tell this obviously, because the project is not categorized as long run or short run. This is decided by the technical writers. So I say, if I I'm confident enough that I can complete the documentation within 3 months of the start of the project, then I select it as a shorter project. But if I'm like I need to change many things and update and do it like really smoothly, not in a hustle, so I'll select it for a long term project will be which will be like around 5 months. So for short term, I guess the results are announced somewhere around this 6th January, and for the long term, they'll be announcing it around March. So it's 2 months gap, I guess, for the long and the short term projects, and it is solely decided by the technical writer. It depends on the technical writer.
Understood. So, okay, we have a question from Harsh. What is the procedure for applying as a Udacity mentor?
Okay, so this is something like if you graduate from a 9 or degree program and you are invited by Udacity for the same, some posts are some posts are opened by Udacity. If that is a new program for a nano degree, I say the Microsoft Azure ML was a new nano degree program by Udacity, so they opened some posts for the mentor. But for my own mentorship, I graduated from Nutanix hybrid nano degree, and after that, I was selected as a mentor there. So I mentor there the hybrid nano degree program and the data security nano degree program.
That seems really interesting, to be honest. We have another question by Arun. Sir, can you please tell how and when to register?
Okay, so keep an eye on the program because after finishing off the long-term projects, like around 13th of the March, they'll be opening the applications for the organizations then and there after a week. So it's in March where the organizations come forward and apply. So you have to keep a check on the website. I'll just, if I can, I'll just share the link in the chat box and you'll be able to. Till then, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask me. I'll be happy to answer that.
I had a question of my own. So, what are the basis for selecting and documentation platform? Like, suppose if you are a Python-based organization, you will most probably go for Read the Docs, or as Circuit versus using Jekyll. Certain React-based or mainly web-based organizations use Docusaurus. So,
Yeah.
what is the mindset for selecting a documentation medium?
Okay. So as I say, we had Jekyll. So it was a GSOC project basically starting from 2019. It was done by some GSOCer, and he selected that on his technical knowledge. So he selected using Jekyll, and when our technical writer this GSOD program came, so he was also working with Jekyll. So he started revamping the website based on Jekyll. He did not have any issues doing that, but if anyone is having issues, so as I suggested, you need to mention that in your proposal how and when and what all resources you will be needing to revamp and transform the website. So if you're not comfortable doing that, you'll prefer Docusaurus, so you have to mention the things, and something like a simple Docusaurus hosted website on Netlify, just add a markdown file there that just shows your enthusiasm towards creating a new revamped website. So I'll just post the link here for I've,
Yes, sir.
I've posted a link for timeline for this GSOD. You can check everything out there. There are resources for technical writing guides and mentor guides. You can check that out there.
I had a follow up. As you mentioned, you would be conversing with your mentor. So, should we mention the snippets of the conversation? Like, for example, as we mentioned Jekyll right now. So, suppose if I want to put to Docusaurus. So, if I make a proposal, should we mention these kind of snippets just after deliverables or something of that sort?
Okay, so if you need to port to Docusaurus, yeah, you'll obviously first contact the mentor, tell him about what you will be doing, and then while writing the proposal you can obviously add these things, add these deliverables to the thing, where you get comments from the mentor. You can quote them there, no issues about that.
Understood. So, we have another question from Siddhant. He's asking, if I know web development, how can I start contributing from now, and what type of work we have to do if we get selected through that?
Okay, so if you know web development, that's really good. I also am a full stack web developer, and you can start contributing from now. See, if you have interest in technical writing, you can go ahead, search out documenting various organizations. Like, you can check this in the website that I posted the link for. There are organizations, many organizations that take part in this GSOD program. You can check their projects. If there is any scope of improvement, you can start interacting with the organization community and various org admins or the mentors and get started. So this is purely the work of documentation here. Your technical knowledge comes to work like when you are porting or when you are revamping the website, and you are merging PRs or pulling PR, making PRs. Sorry. So then and there, the technical knowledge comes into scene. Otherwise, you have to purely write, you have to perform technical writing, which is a lot of work.
Also, I had a very specific question about circuit course, as you're a mentor of HWOC as well. So
Yeah.
I had this question from a participant's point of view. Suppose I want to prepare for GSOD. So should a participant lay emphasis on the interactive book or the circuit verse docs, as both follow documentation? So suppose if I am an aspirant and someone is having a conflict of interest, because there might be multiple overlapping factors like curiosity and tech stack.
Okay.
So, what should be the focus when you're selecting a project? Should it be curiosity, or how should one select an ideal project?
Okay, so I would let me make you go through this.
Yes.
We have interactive book that is mainly for the logic and logic design. Something like what you digital logic and microprocessor is a subject in like undergraduate courses in
Yes.
colleges. So that is the main idea behind the interactive book. That is not related to the simulator we have in circuitverse. Like, you can obviously take reference for learning things in interactive book, but circuitverse docs is something like explaining everything about the simulator, what all features we have in circuitverse, everything about that. So that's purely based on the technical writer which project to go ahead with. So for our circuitverse docs, we had mentioned we need project tutorial guides or something like that. So if anyone is having design or film designing or video designing tutorial guides, so you can go ahead with that. If you have strong knowledge in technical writing, then you should go ahead with the projects which need more knowledge on technical writing, like the interactive book one, because that is the project where we had explained in detail about everything in logic design. The circuit was the docs is all about the simulator, and we have included tutorials there only. So that's not much more in deep about the logic design.
Understood. Understood. Also, I had a question. So, if we want to suppose as what should be the code practices one should follow while making documentation? As you mentioned, it should be crisp, it should be precise and formal, but as we write code also has to be documented well. So there are certain practices. So are there something like coverages for docs as well, like any
You can involve coverage for docs, but we haven't done it right now. We'll be improving our docs. We are transforming this currently, because the project evaluation results are yet to come, and after that we'll be merging everything. So you can obviously add these. You can suggest these changes in the community if you need. No issues for that.
Understood. We have another question by Siddhant. Is it like we have to understand projects and present the projects with our own technical writing skills and also can contribute towards its building?
So you have to understand the project, like yes, because you are the technical writer who will be transforming our documents, so you have to go in detail. So I'll tell you, like we had the technical writer, and we had multiple calls in a week to explain everything, each and every detail about our simulator, so that she can write everything about our simulator in details, so that we can help the contributors, the new contributors or the users. So that's not an issue. You can go with the, like, first of all search the project, then learn everything about it, not in detail, because obviously you can do that while you're selected and you're working on the doc development phase. But first of all, you need to take that things in mind, that you need to update the documentation. So how are you going to proceed with that? That's the main thing.
Understood. Sure, it has to be. You should know how it works, but for working on it, it would you are specifically given the amount of months.
Yeah, so see, you can just learn about the basic working. The things that are going in backend are a bit of technical stuff, but you can obviously learn them in your doc development phase. But you need see, if you have a technical knowledge about that product completely, then that's really a plus point. But you get time to learn about that in doc development phase also, if your proposal is really strong enough and qualify after the selection.
Understood. One last question I would like to ask about the proposals. What ideally does a mentor look for in the proposal? Because as there are a couple of factors, and writing a proposal for documentation is a whole new era area apart from writing a proposal for GSOC. As here you are actually planning to write code, but you are making a proposal to write something. So what would be something you look for?
Okay, so the first thing that we look for is the zeal of the technical writer to, like, write in the enthusiasm. So we first of all see, like, you should not include multiple features of changing, like, if I say you need to update the documentation, so you should focus on how will you be doing that, not like mentioning the points that you need to update the documentation, which resources will be required. You need to go in detail, in depth. You need to show your knowledge out there, like, it's not that'll work shallow thing. Everything needs to be in detail and deep, so that the person reading the proposal, not only the mentors, the org admins also take the decision on this. So the person reading the proposal is really, like, confident that this person is like the best choice, because uh, what you see in the proposal shows your knowledge. That's the thing, which we consider for this.
Agreed. Sure, understood. So thanks. Do you guys have any other questions? Um, Anyone has any questions? I I believe there are no questions.
No
So
worries.
should I?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Nothing. Yeah, you can continue. Sorry.
I was saying, if you have any questions, you can reach me out at LinkedIn, Twitter, or like anywhere you need, in the Slack community, always, and I'll be free to answer your questions. No worries for that. Thank you, Rachit and Script Foundation, for inviting me to this webinar. This was really amazing.
Likewise. Also, we have couple of requests to share the PPT if feasible. So,
Okay.
if you could share it with me, I would probably put it up on the Slack channel, as a lot of attendees were asking for the PPT.
Okay. So I'll post it on LinkedIn and post it to you in personal, and you can post it on Slack channel also.
Definitely works very well. Sure.
Okay. So, have a great year ahead, everyone. So, there's a question, I guess.
Yes. Uh, are there any organizations where we can take experience beforehand?
Okay, so there are organizations. So you have to look out for various open source program. This script winter of code or some programs going parallelly. So you can take part in those open source program. Work with some project admins like on short projects and develop documentation for there to get experience for like regarding these big programs. So start developing documentation for projects, and then you can gain experience for the long term or the large scale projects.
Understood. I hope it answers your query, Siddharth. Sure.
Okay, so someone is writing. Can you share one documentation? So I'll be just adding a GitHub link to Circuitworks interactive book. I guess that will help them understand about the documentation part. Will that be fine? Yeah. So you can, as Rachit posted, this is Circuitworks docs, and for interactive book, you can go with this
If
tech.
we have a question, Shivansh. If we develop
Yeah.
our own documentation, can we show that in our experience?
Yes. Obviously, if you develop a documentation for your own project, that will be good.
Just a moment, guys. Shivansh will be back soon. Yeah. So we had a question, Shivansh. Can we show our own documentation in our experience by Siddhant?
Yeah, so as I told, yes, we can show your experience, like your documentation in your experience, but it is considered that if you develop something for an organization, that is considered more formal and experienced, like rather than doing it for your own. Because for your own, you do like you do obviously some people do large projects, but doing it for an organization is considered much more better.
Definitely understood. Perfect. And I do love the Jekyll theme of circuit was a lot as well. It
Thank
looks
you.
really cool. The landing circuit is pretty amazing. Hello
Thank
one.
you. So that was created by some professor in university out in some foreign country. That
How
was
did you make it? Because that is, I think so. Jekyll is a static site, I believe, and
so
it
that
is.
was that was embedded, I guess. See, we have circuit embeds present in our circuit world simulator, so we use that embedding in any HTML page.
Okay, understood. Because as far as my limited experience with Jekyll, I really found the site to be very static. So
Yeah,
this was a very welcome surprise to me. I mean, seeing something so cool on a Jekyll page.
I'm glad everyone liked the session. Like everyone, thank you for inviting me to this amazing session.
Likewise, thank you very much for agreeing. We loved the amount of information you shared, and it will definitely help us out in the future.
Yeah, so awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Have a great year ahead, everyone, and hope to see you this like in this GSOD program, like working with any organization. Have a great year ahead. Thank you all.
Likewise, Happy New Year.
Happy New
Thank
Year.
you.
Thank you.